It's a Flow Friday sports show, and it is North Central Netball time here on Flow FM. Joining me is our regular correspondent and the president of the association, Kylie Walsh. Kylie, it's been a massive season. We're nearly there as far as the grand final goes. Not quite, though. We're on the home stretch. How are you feeling? It's been such a massive season.
Yeah, we're all going well. We're just probably a relief that we're indoors last weekend. And congratulations to those that progressed to the final. And thank you to Donald Netball Club who hosted us last weekend. They did a great job. But it might be challenging being outside this weekend with the forecast.
Yes, indeed. Well, let's take a look at those semi-finals from last weekend, starting in the Junior 14As, where we had Boort, Watcham and Donald going at it, and it was indeed Donald who were way too good. 40-16, the final score, Carly.
Yeah, and Alice, it was expected to be a tightly fought contest, but and they both sort of stepped on the court with gusto, but it was a step up in grade with height compared to the earlier game of 14B, and there was a noticeable difference with the height and intensity. And Donald's defensive duo of Maya Funk and Sophie Burke, they were just become a formidable challenge for Boort Watcham, and the Bulls tried their best attempts to make tactical changes just to alter that movement in the circle, but Donald's defence were held firm and prevented Boort Watcham from gaining any significant momentum. And as the game progressed, Donald really took control, and their dominance exceeded across the whole court. Donald's goalers were led by impressive Miller Adams. She played a critical role with their team's success, particularly influential in dictating the flow across the play, and certainly into the goal circle where she had precision and accuracy with her confidence. But she certainly controlled the pace and direction of the game and rewarded her team with goals. And then at the final whistle, they were secured with their victory of the scoreline of 40-16 and a ticket to the grand final.
Indeed. Well, it was expected to be a close one between first and second in the Bs as well in the under-14s. Yeah. Boort Watcham and St Arnaud on this occasion. Boort Watcham too good, 24-13 the final result.
Yeah, and look, the young Bulls really took the court with determination from that first whistle. And Bulls Gemma Tynan, despite her small stature, she was a huge impact in the scoring with her ability to score goals despite the height difference of her opponent. And that really set the tone for her team's performance. And it really evolved the fierce contest, particularly through the mid-court. They really displayed some impressive skills with their determination. And Boort Watcham's Isabel Sharp, she played a pivotal role in wing defence. She was like a little ball magnet with her relentless pursuit. And the Saints really struggled to maintain possession. But the Boort Watcham secured a convincing victory over the Saints with the final score 24-13, and they're very excited to head to the grand final.
Yes, they absolutely would be, no doubt about that. Let's move through to the Junior 17A competition, the semi-final there, Boort Watcham and Nullawill, and it was a margin of 11 goals in the end, which proved to be the difference. Nullawill going down to Boort Watcham, who were the best team in terms of being first past the post this season. Yeah,
and look, it was a really thrilling display of skill and determination. Both delivered a really fast-paced and fiercely competitive game, but from the first whistle, it was really clear that all were committed and attacking and had great energy and focus at the ball. At times, it sort of resembled a tennis game with the ball swinging back and forth as they all fought for control. But the first half of the game was a true contest. Nulla were able to claw back the deficit of the scoreline and reach within a reasonable advantage for the halftime break. But it was wonderful to see the tussle and the display throughout the whole court with skills and determination. It was such at a high level, which was a spectator's delight. I think we ended up having about 200 spectators in the stadium at that point, and it was so loud you could barely hear anything. But the Bulls really didn't falter, and Nullawill sort of struggled to find the answers in the back half of the game. And as the final whistle blew, the Bulls celebrated a well-deserved victory with the 40-29 score. But I really think both teams should be congratulated with their impressive skill set and high level of netball that is played for a junior match.
To the senior C reserves, where we had Nullawill and Sea Lake Nandali Tigers clashing, and this game proved to be fairly one-sided in the end, the away side upsetting the apple cart.
Yeah, and look, at the start of the game, it was a really tight contest there was no breathing space between either. It was it's a real nail bite at the start of the game. But then as the game progressed, Nullawill were challenged with height difference of key goal shooter and our NCNA C reserve runner-up, Bronte Michael. Her strength that she brings to her role is amazing. And then an injury to C reserve best and fairest Shelley Coles, that sort of meant that Nullawill had to make quick tactical changes not to allow this injury impact their momentum. But however, with the direction of the Tigers' mature netball heads, they guided their team to with precision and challenging every aspect of Nullawill's play, and that just really, as you said, did them to a comfortable victory over the Maroons, 56-28, as the Tigers go roaring into that grand final.
That they do. Nullawill in action again in the senior C grade on this occasion. Just one goal in it, Kylie.
Yeah.
Wow. Boort and Nullawill. Boort too good though. The away side, 29-30. They won this game. What a thriller.
Yeah, it really was. And we were sort of checking whether Boort had that famous box of good luck donuts courtside somewhere. But Boort's Annie Perryman, she was driving hard throughout that centre, linking both ends beautifully and demonstrated really superb ball delivery to her goalers. And her, likewise, Brooke Arnold, her display of her usual dominance in the goal circle and her accuracy, that placed Nullawill's Amy Smith and Elizabeth Theorafi's defence under immense pressure. But Boort did experience a brief blood slump midway through the game, and that gave Nullawill a glimmer of hope, and they pulled that scoreline right back, as they usually do in renowned 4. But yeah, as the match drew to a close, Nullawill was 1 goal down and had the ball, and we thought it was heading into extra time. However, they just couldn't capitalise on that, the advantage of that ball, and didn't manage to score. And as the whistle blew, Magpies had the single goal advantage and won 39-30 to 29. It was wonderful to watch.
I'm sure it would have been. There's no doubt about that. Moving through to the B grade, where we had Wedderburn Redbacks, who have been great all season long, entertaining Birchip Watcham, and they were good enough to win this game relatively comfortably, 58-35. For the Redbacks, they progress through, and they'll be pretty happy with their efforts, Kylie.
Oh, absolutely. And the Bulls really faced fierce opposition from Wedderburn, and they brought their A game to the court. Their defensive trio of Rebecca Turnbull, Ingrid Gould, and Tess Jackson deserve full credit for their exceptional performance. They challenged the Bulls at every turn, disrupting their attacking flow and making it hard for any goal to be earned. And at times it looked as though Wedderburn's defence had completely disassembled Birchip Watson's attacking end, forcing them to make uncharacteristic errors and missed opportunities. But Redbacks were connected fluently throughout the game, and finding their goals with ease in the circle. The Bulls didn't have any answers to this game with this meeting, and they were outplayed by Redback. And Wedderburn snapped that grand final ticket with that comfortable win, 58-35.
All right, to the matters of the A grade. Wedderburn Redbacks, they were featuring in this one against Boort, and 65-40 was the final score. The best placed side over the home and away season progressed through again in the senior A grade. Yeah,
and I really didn't think the game would head down this path. I thought it would end up a lot closer than it did. And full credit to Redbacks, despite the big injuries they've faced throughout the season, they were able to adapt to these challenges, and they looked as strong as ever in their finals campaign. And that was a key to Paige Stevenson and Holly Lockhart. They quickly found their rhythm to the post and sinking goals with remarkable consistency. And Paige, with her infectious smile, she was a constant presence on the court, deterred by the combination and defensive efforts of Emma Darker and Roxy Train. They, despite their best efforts to disrupt the flow, Paige's accuracy and composure shone through and giving Wedderburn that strong start. But Boort were determined to challenge Wedderburn's dominance, and they slightly tweaked their midcourt, helped the best efforts of Kylie Isaac, who tried desperately to link up her teammate, but they were just met with every challenge by the Redbacks. And Wedderburn just demonstrated their superior performance despite Boort's relentless efforts, and it was with a 65-40 win.
All right, so what does this now mean as far as prelims go this weekend, Kylie? The floor's yours.
Yeah, well, we're heading to Charlton for our prelim final. We have 14 under B at 8 a.m. Donald versus Sananas, 14 under A at 9. Lake Nandolie Tigers versus Birchip Watcham, 17 under A at 10 a.m. Nullawill versus Sananas, B reserve at 10 past 11, Nullawill versus Birchip Watcham, C grade at 12:30, Nullawill versus Fair Lake Nandali Tigers. B grade 1:50, Nullawill versus Birchip Watcham, and A grade 3:15, Charlton versus Boort. So we have a lot of Maroons will be sidelined. As always, we thank our major sponsors, Northwest Ag Services, Bendigo Bank at Charlton and District Community Bank, AgriFact Australia for their support over the final series. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, the emotions that go with the prelim final, with the successes and losses. And we just wish everyone the best, both teams and umpires, in the game this weekend.
There we have it. Well, Kylie Walsh, great to check in with you, and we really do appreciate it. As always, lots to get through in your netball competition, and we look forward to checking with you again next week. Enjoy the netball this weekend, Kylie.
I will, Alice. Have a great weekend.